Well, for this week's Bushel Up segment, I just kind of want to continue down the road that we started last week. And, we talked last week about, a lot of the changes that have taken place, both with commodity prices, the lack of change in fertilizer prices, or actually the movement higher, and just some of the turmoil that we've seen play out over the last weeks. One thing we can control and that there is a good supply of is seed. And so I want to just talk about, some of the steps. We talked last week about you have time to review your dry fertilizer program. Are there any tweaks you want to make? We talked all fall about how important it is to have a game plan. But as we get into the month of March here, it's really important to review that game plan, make sure we've got everything right. And when it comes to seed, I know a lot of you are getting your seed deliveries hauled out to your buildings, to your farms. Maybe it's being stored at one of our locations. But one of the important things is to review where that seed belongs. And as we look behind us here, we've got Brevant, Prairie Valley, NK, all those hybrids that you're going to plant this spring, they have a place where they belong. And hopefully you've gone through that, but it's very important that they get put in the planter and put in the right place. I'm currently working in the office this afternoon on putting my hybrid list together in the order in which we want to plant, which fields get which hybrids, which test blocks are getting which hybrids, and it's just a good review time. We've had this seed on order for a while, but now we want to make sure we review where to place it. Every year we run into a disappointing yield due to a hybrid being in a place that probably didn't belong. Especially if you're a dry land and irrigated farmer, make sure we're getting those in the right places. If you have dry land pivot corners, and you're going to be under the pivot, but you're going to plant through the corners, we got to make sure we have the right hybrids in those scenarios. And then we go down the list of your high pH areas, maybe your poor drainage areas, sandy areas, any of the other situations where you might need to match up hybrids. And then also, I see a lot of mistakes made when it comes to trait packages. We put the triple stack with below ground protection on old bean ground, and then we go to corn on corn ground and we throw the wrong hybrid out there that doesn't have the traits, doesn't have the package that should have been on that farm. So review that. We got a little bit of time here. We got a little snow, a little cooler weather hit us. Good time just to review those plans, make sure you got good labels, get sticky notes, get yourself Sharpies, whatever it takes, get that seed labeled and make sure it goes on the right place.